Sometimes you just want to mess around and see if you can do something silly. Today is that day. We're going to be hourglass diving, but we're going to try and win matches without moving. That's right, fully anchored. This ought to be fun. There's actually a couple of reasons why I wanted to do this particular challenge besides for funsies. First, I was curious about what people's reactions were going to be. I had selected to hide gamertag and hide ship name from my HUD options menu when they spyglassed me, so they wouldn't know who they were facing in advance. Second, and probably more importantly, I know that PvP is not my strongest suit. My weapon of choice is a ripe banana, not anything in my ship's armory. But by anchoring my ship and forcing combat to come to me, at least most of the time, this event basically became a TDM training ground at times, allowing me to become more familiar with the flow of pirate-based combat. Now, I only said more familiar with the flow. I did not say it was going to make me a PvP master instantly, as we can obviously see from these clips. Also, I just want to point out the jump scare I had right here from this player, looking like a Metal Gear Solid guard just waiting for Solid Snake to pop out. Something I learned in editing this video is that in the earlier matches I recorded, I was taking myself way too seriously and trying to get the win. Honestly, sometimes that can work against you. Later on in this video, as I let loose, I definitely enjoyed myself a lot more, and by the end, had the best hourglass experience I've ever had. So keep watching to see the transformation in real time. Being my first match out of the gate, I didn't expect to win right away, but I had to admit I was a little disheartened as to how easily I was overtaken. Still, the game is just a game, and they were the better player, so it was important for me to give them the respect for a job well done.
GG's, man.
Alright, 0 for 1. Better luck next time, hopefully. Another battle, another anchor drop. And I know this would probably be a little bit easier if I just raised the sail and not drop the anchor altogether, since I'd be able to turn my ship to try and counter cannons. But that just takes the fun out of the challenge, you know? What was also interesting to me while doing this challenge is how people approached me during it. The first battle had us dealing with a border almost right away, but this opponent preferred to keep their distance and try and handle us with cannons. Now, I may not be the best crack shot with personal combat, but I am a fair hand with a cannon, so this particular strategy worked out more in my favor than I think they expected. There was even a point where, even stationary, we were able to get the enemy's mast down. Since there was no way we could spiral them to keep pressure and they were drifting out of range, I had to go for a board. I was pretty pleased with several of my snipes in this match, but alas, boarding from ladders is my Achilles heel. I'm not too proud to not ask for advice either, by the way. During the course of this video, if you see an obvious flaw in how I'm playing these matches, feel free to roast me in the comments. I promise I won't get offended. Just make sure to tell me how to do it right, okay? Deal? Now that this opponent was back up and moving again, they were smart enough not to let me get a second chance to down their mast, and circled us, pelting the ship with holes that eventually would become too much for one bard to bear. And that's when I got the first surprise of the challenge.
GG's, man.
Yo, John, is that you? Dude, you've been way better.
What's that?
Your snipes are incredible. Holy moly.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
You were never this good, which is good. You've improved.
We were recognized, and that felt great at first. Then it made me feel a little silly since no one knew exactly what I was doing. I really hope none of the folks I was going to face off with today was thinking I was loss farming, like this opponent right here, who decided to park their ship right across from our cannon line. And like a kid in the candy store, I just couldn't resist. Cannon after cannon after cannon went straight to their hull before they even had a chance to realize what had happened. And the hardest thing about this particular fight wasn't the opponent, no offense to them, but rather having to deal with the silly storm that decided to make an appearance in our match and make trying to hit the target just a little bit harder than what I would have liked. Still, between the cannon barrage and the storm, our poor foe had no chance to recover, and for the first time on our third match, we got a win.
GG's, man. Sorry about that. Good sport. Appreciate that.
But that didn't feel satisfying enough, you know? The poor soul basically stopped right in front of us, probably thinking we were farming. We couldn't just end on that note, so I pressed on. And maybe I shouldn't have. Our next opponent was a Ghost Curse, which by itself doesn't necessarily mean an instant loss. I'll reserve that for 99% of the gold Ghost Curses I made. But they had placed their ship at the worst possible spot for my cannons, making it impossible to put holes into them, while they had free reign to pelt me with cannonballs at their leisure. I could only really do my best to try and snipe them from afar, and then, when they had felt they had put enough pressure on me to board, try to defend myself. But this was a fight that was not at all in my favor from the start. But hey, there was some silver lining. GG's.
No way. GGS.
Now, I don't know if these people watch my videos on YouTube or also my live streams every Saturday on both YouTube and at twitch.tv/Jon Bardcore, but I am thrilled that I get to be in the position that I'm in, entertaining everyone watching right now. Don't get me wrong, it's hard work and doesn't come easy, but it's so much fun. What's also fun is surprising another player who had thought that they had stopped just before reaching my cannons, but the waves on the seas had nudged them just forward enough that they were now in cannon line. On top of that, getting the bag on any solo match is more often than not the game changer. It's very difficult to recover from one ball in solo Hourglass. Just because more often than not, that means that the opponent is within range, doing some serious damage to your ship as well. In this case, we did our best, but now the opponent's ship was drifting away, and I didn't think we had put enough holes into her to finish her off. So, after making sure that we were all patched up so that there was no chance of us sinking instead, it was time to cannon over. For once, we were able to make it all the way up the ladder, and now for the first time in this challenge, we were the aggressor. And let me tell you, being the aggressor was such an adrenaline rush. Now, this pirate only had one hole on his ship taking in water, so in order for us to win the match from here, we would need to camp the ship and ensure that they didn't get an opportunity to recover and repair, which meant that we were going to have to be strategic in how we played this. If we died, we would end up back on our ship and have to deal with a potential reset, and we didn't want that. But even I could tell there was a simmering building up of tensions, as time and again our opponent would spawn in, only for us to take them down almost immediately again. I know this because I've definitely been on the other side of this equation too many times to count. So, when our foe let out a good old curse, I didn't take it to heart. I'm sorry, man. At least that one was in English. The next time around, when it happened again, it definitely was not. I don't know what that means, but I'm sorry. I knew we were getting close to our goal. We just needed to hold the line a little bit more. And after the latest takedown of our opponent, I just sat at the back of the map table and waited. At last, we got our first legitimate win without moving in Hourglass. It felt so good, especially having done it in this fashion, through repeated takedowns and defending a single hole. It made me feel like I accomplished something. And all that feeling went away in this next fight, which had us facing off in the green glow of the Fort of the Damned. This opponent knew exactly what to do when they saw that we were anchored. They kept enough of a distance with enough speed that it was extremely difficult to get snipes or cannon shots into them. Whoa, 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 whoa. Let's rewind that, shall we? Huh, right between the legs. But that doesn't mean we couldn't have a little bit of fun. What are you doing with that banana on your head? What are you doing with that banana on your head?
Hello, Johnny Bardcore.
Hello.
I love you.
Pick me up. 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 Pick,
I could if I would.
pick me up. Pick me up. Pick me up.
I can't. No. No, I don't want to do this.
You know, I can appreciate a good acting performance even in defeat. It was time for our next matchup. We had sunk 2 opponent ships so far, but we were definitely behind on the count. This was another foe who had parked their ship in front of us at an angle just outside of cannon range. I feel like someone has tried this tactic before, and that's why everyone seems to want to park their ship like that. No trust amongst pirates. I get it. I get it. A lot of my time was spent trying to snipe our enemy off cannon while repairing and bucketing the ship as best I could. At one point, A cannon came out of nowhere and must have bounced off of Bardcore's head because I absolutely should have been sent to the ferry with that bag. But no worries, there was a second cannonball with my name written on it, and this time delivered successfully. Even I was incredulous. How did I get smacked in the face with one, dodge it somehow, and then get smacked in the face again? That's special. While I was on the ferry, my opponent managed to board my ship, and now I was going to be forced to play defense when suddenly a very surprising thing happened. Oh no! My opponent had sunk from a single hole I had put on their ship before I got bagged. Did you have a hole? But I didn't remember it. In hindsight, probably should have kept my mouth shut on that one. Didn't really make my opponent happy. And then he proceeded to spam attack me with blunder bombs and swipes while I was waiting for him to despawn. Alas. Rip me. That still counts, right? That still counts? I think that still counts. This next fight is our last one of the video, and is by far my most favorite random encounter in Hourglass. I don't even really need to do any sort of post audio on this one. Just enjoy the experience, and I'll see you on the other side. What's up?
Oh, what's up, man?
How you doing, man?
What's up, man? You're not gonna fight or what?
What's up?
You don't want to fight?
Oh, I didn't know if you had accidentally hit the hourglass when you were selling or something. I didn't want to like intrude, and you know, I've been through that before.
Nah, man.
But yeah, I'm doing something where it's gonna be funny. It's gonna be funny. I'm trying to win without moving.
What?
Yeah.
Oh. So should I be moving or no?
Oh no, you can move. You can do whatever you want. It's just that like
Alright.
I'm anchored. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you. Yeah. Hold up. Can I get some?
What you in my barrels for? What are you in my barrels for?
Staring at me, man. Oh yeah? Oh yeah? Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Oh yeah? Alright. Yeah. I'm gonna go on the right side actually.
Aww.
This is weird, bro. I never met someone that does this. Never, ever.
Never met anyone says what?
No.
What you doing?
Get away!
What you doing?
Oh! Oh my God! Back up, buddy.
Oh, I love this so much. This is what I needed. This is what I needed so much.
How does it feel, buddy? No. Oh. Oh. Actually, I'm gonna go back to my shit. I don't wanna fight this guy right now.
I don't believe you.
I'm going back to my shit.
I still don't believe you.
Oh! Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? No way. Bro, I can't win on God. I'm not gonna fight. I'm not gonna fight. You won. There's no way I could beat you, bro.
Nah.
I'm serious, bro. I'm serious. I have no cannonballs. It's over. Ate that. For breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Oh.
After rewatching this fight in the editing process, I know exactly why I enjoyed that match so much. And it was because there was no stakes involved. It was just a person who was having a good time fighting another person who was also having a good time. Nobody was taking themselves too seriously. Nobody was trying to get one up on the other. We were all just there to have fun. And I think that's what Hourglass needs more of. Just fun. More fun, please. Sadly, our opponent had to go to dinner, so we got the win here. And I'll let Video Jon have the last word.
I can't beat that. I cannot beat that.